Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Modded Minecraft. This is Dino. Thanks for joining me. It's New Year's Eve 2014, and just kind of want to take this opportunity to wish everybody a very happy New Year. I'm actually looking forward to the new year. It's always kind of sad to see the old year leave, but I had a great 2014, and to be honest with you, I see no reason why 2015 shouldn't be just as good or even better. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope you are too. So I have been playing a little off camera for a while, and I'll explain why here in a moment. First, started off just playing AFK a little bit in the zombie spawning room to collect some liquid XP. Got a little bit over here, but mostly it's going into our new tank over there, just to kind of get a good start on having enough liquid XP to do some future enchanting. And then also started looking at getting started with crafting our ME system. But before we get going on that, let me kind of show you what we finished up last episode, right? So last episode we were working on, oh, there's a sun, just wanted to check where the sun was. We were working on our railway station, and here is the finished product. Some of the block IDs were a little off because Schematica had recorded this schema from my single player world, and the mods there were a little bit different than here. So had to make a few adjustments to get this just right, but this is the end result, and it's not all that different from what we were doing before. I got, the flowers in the front finished up. Yep, definitely sunflowers faced east. And then kind of cleaned up the inside as well. In the original schema, this fireplace was a little bit different. I had at the time been playing with Flucraft, which is a mod sort of based loosely on the Harry Potter series, where you can kind of teleport by stepping inside of the fireplace. Remember that from the movie? And Flucraft is sort of based on that concept, so it's kind of a teleportation system. And it's actually a pretty slick one. I enjoyed playing with it a bit. But I don't have it loaded in this modded Minecraft series, so had to replace that, and this is what I replaced it with. So your sort of basic empty fireplace, and I might get it functional in the future, but for now I just kind of wanted to kind of get the crafting part of it done. And then we have some bookshelves over here, and finished up the Bibliocraft portion of the configuration here. So we kind of have our desk. So basically, being a railway station, you'd come in here, you go up to the front desk, purchase your ticket, come out here, and hop on your next ride. So still need to finish obviously the railway portion of this, but we have our station ready to go. So that's pretty cool. And just lit up around it so that it's somewhat safe over here, and terraformed the ground a little bit just to make it a little bit nicer. And that's really about it. I think turned out pretty okay. Hope you like it. And if you have any suggestions on how we could maybe improve it a little bit, definitely leave your comments in the section below. Love to hear all of your ideas. So that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple, straightforward. Yeah. So finished that up off camera because it was pretty close to being done. All I had to fix was the incorrect block IDs. In other words, just get the right blocks in there to replace the incorrect ones. And then, like I said, I did some AFK over there in our zombie spawner room, and then started to look at the ME system, because we've got so much stuff down here now. It's really kind of important to get it a little bit better organized. As you can see, I just have chests everywhere. Every time I start a new project, I kind of build a chest for it, and it just kind of gets to the point where it's hard to remember where things are now. So need our ME system, and I love the ME system. I've used it in my single player worlds for quite a while now. definitely not expert at it. In fact, I wouldn't say I'm expert at any of the mods I played with. I played for a while, but not really long enough to get all that deep into them, including applied energistics. So started to look at how to craft the ME system and realized that I'm running AE2 now, Applied Energistics 2, and a lot has changed from AE1. I mean, a whole lot. The crafting recipes have changed a lot. The in-game generation's different. It is really different. Love the sunset. So I was going to get started crafting our ME system while recording, on camera. But when I started looking at all the steps required just to get the basics, which is pretty much either your chest or your drive, and I typically start with one of each, and then the terminal, and I think those are the three at a minimum you're going to need, plus a couple of cables. And just to get those crafted, there's so many steps now involved in getting those crafted that I was really afraid of how long it would take just to get going on that, and I didn't even feel we can finish it in an episode. And as it turned out, I wouldn't even gotten close. I've spent probably 3 or 4 hours this morning just kind of getting our basic ME system up and running. And instead of going through all the necessary steps with you during the recording, I decided I would just kind of step you through what I did, just in general, just to give you an idea of how to create the component pieces for getting started with an ME system. So let's go ahead and look at that real quick. And I won't bore you with all the details in energistics, but just kind of go over it real quickly for those of you that may not have played with this a whole lot. So to get started, you need, let's see if I can find the blocks here. You need a drive or a chest. I would probably start with the chest because it's a little simpler to craft, but you're quickly going to go to the drive, so it really doesn't matter. I did one of each. But to do the chest, you need 2 pieces of glass, 2 iron, a flux crystal, 2 cables, and a terminal. To create the terminal, you need these annihilation cores and formation cores, and this is what's required of them. So you need a bunch of nether crystal, you need some fluix dust, so you need more fluix crystals, and you need to craft this logic processor. This logic processor requires the inscriber, which, if you remember before, we created one over here. But you're going to need the inscriber. And then once you have the inscriber, and this is how you craft the inscriber, so it's not really that bad. It's just 5 iron and 2 fluix crystals. And to create the fluix crystals, remember, you just you throw the certus quartz, nether quartz, and redstone into some water, and then you get this fluix crystal. And we did that once before in a prior episode, so won't go over that again. But you will need the inscriber, and then once you have the inscriber, you can then create these logic circuits. And to create the logic circuits, you're going to need the inscriber logic press and a piece of gold in your inscriber. This is the tricky part. These guys, and there's 4 of them, there's 4 presses. And there's a logic press, an engineering press. What are they? The silicon press, and then another one. There's 4 of them. So and they're basically 4 tiers. So that's the reason why we have 4 of them. But basically, these are the tricky ones because the only way to get these is to find meteorites, and then dig into the center of the meteorite and loot the sky block chest that you'll find in the center of the meteorites. And there's random loot in there, and you're hoping to find these 4 guys, the 4 presses, because it's the only way you can get these presses. Once you have these presses, you can copy them. So you'll want to make a backup just in case, since they're such a challenge to find. And you'll notice I have a whole bunch of them here now. I actually had 3 of the 4 already because if you recall from prior episodes, I did loot those chests 2 times. So I had found 2 meteorites and I had gone the chests twice. And during those 2 excursions, I had gotten 3 of the presses. The one I was missing is the calculation press here. And this is an important one you'll need to create your ME system. But we had the engineering one, the logic one, and the silicon one that we'd found in the prior 2. And I went and found this guy, thankfully. Where the zombie spawning trap is, that's a really cool area. There's large redwood sequoia trees in that area. There's 2 floating slime islands there. And then right next to it as well is a very large meteorite crater. And I looted that meteorite, and I got lucky, and I found the calculation press in there. So that was awesome. And then I crafted a couple extras. The reason I have so many of them here was I was misunderstanding how to use them. I thought that when you were created, let's go back here. I thought that when you created these guys, that it would consume the press with the iron to create this guy. And so that's why I thought you had to, kind of make more of these. But it turns out you don't. You don't ever lose the press. So once you have one, you're good. You might accidentally lose it somehow, which is probably why it's a good idea to craft a backup. And to do a backup, you just basically put the press in here with a block of iron, and then it'll duplicate the press. So that's how you just create extras. But I thought you consumed them, and that's why I created a whole bunch of them. And then when I finally got around to using the inscriber, I realized, no, it does not get consumed. So that's the reason for that. But yeah, so this is that process. So once you've got your circuit, then you get your printed silicon, which again is just using the inscriber silicon press with some silicon, gives you that guy. And then the 2 of those with a piece of redstone gives you our circuits, our processors. And in this case, we need a logic processor for the drive. And then it's similar over here. You have logic processors here as well. So you need like 4 of these guys. No, 3, I guess. 1 for each of the cores, and then 1 here. And then you need your panel. And I couldn't find the recipe for the panel. I actually had to go to the web to find the recipe for the panel. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can look that up real quick. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, so I don't know why NEI isn't showing us the recipe, but it's not. But basically, it's not a difficult recipe. You basically need 3 quartz glass, and that's a pretty common ingredient in most of the ME recipes. So you need quartz glass, you need 2 pieces of glowstone, a piece of redstone, and an iron ingot. That's really it. So that's pretty straightforward. There's no problems there. And then once you've done that, you just put this together, and then you get your chest. And then the drive is a little more complicated in that you need these engineering processors, which basically means you need the engineering press and some diamonds. And then the same process here to give you your processor. You need 2 of those processors and so on and so forth. So that's not too hard. That's not too bad. And then to let's see, and then to create the drives, that was the challenging part. Let me go ahead and look that up real quick, and I'll explain the reason why that one's challenging. ME storage. The reason it's a challenge is, like, let's say we're going to do the 4K ones, because that's what I crafted. I crafted a 4K one. So you need this storage component. Obviously, again, quartz glass, redstone, iron, easy. But this guy, the storage component, is a little more work. Again, more quartz glass, more redstone. That's pretty common. But these 1K ME storage components, again, not too bad. You just need quartz, Certus quartz, and redstone. And then this guy, is pretty straightforward. We already looked at the logic processor. But the calculation press, that's the kind of the challenging one, because you need the calculation press, which, like I said, I didn't have it. I had to go mine another meteorite, and I got lucky and I found one. I think you're going to have a better chance of finding them in the larger meteorites. But it's this guy right here, the pure Certus quartz crystal. You can't get these guys. You can't mine them. You have to grow them. And that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So everything in applied energistics is designed to be renewable. So if you have the right component pieces, you should be pretty much self-sufficient from having to mine all the time. So when it comes to the Certus quartz, Fluix crystals, all the crystals. So the Certus crystals, Fluix crystals, and I think there's one more. I can't recall what it was. But those three things, you can create seeds out of them. So let me show you how to do that. So let's say we want these pure Certus quartz. The only way to get them is from growing seeds. So if you get a Certus quartz and crush it down, like with our sag mill here, for example, to its dust, this is pretty cool. So you'll get one dust for each quartz. But if you combine that dust with a piece of sand, you're going to get seeds. Like so. And you'll get 2 seeds out of that recipe. So that's pretty cool. So you're going to be able to grow Certus quartz 2 for 1. So now you pretty much doubled your yield. So that's pretty awesome. Now to do that though, you need to put it in water. So what I had done in my base down there is I had just created a block of water. Let me go back and show you. Right here you can see this is why this ground is a little different texture. Is I need to create the marble cobblestone back to marble. But I had put water there, and I'd thrown the seeds in there, and I'd waited. I'd started working on some other stuff, and I waited about 5 minutes, and then I came back to check the progress. It was 1%. So what's that going to be, like 50 minutes or something? I don't even know how long it's going to take just to get one crystal, just an ungodly amount of time. So the preferred method is to craft these crystal growth accelerators and put it next to your water source, the water block, and that will speed up the crystallization process. And if you put 4 around it, that's about as fast as it can go. And watch how fast it is. I mean, like I said, it was 5 minutes was 1%. So 100 times 50, however long, 500 minutes. That's just crazy long time. But if we take these 2 seeds and we throw it in there, you'll see them kind of jumping a little bit. That kind of means that these accelerators are accelerating the charge process, or the growth process, or whatever you want to call that. And I don't know exactly how long it'll take, but it's really much, much faster. So we'll just let it go for a moment. Well, actually, I'll show you. So if we go grab these seeds right now and take a look at them, they're already 22% done. So that's much, much faster. So let's go ahead and put those back in there. Did I get them both in there? I don't think I did. Nope. There we go. So we'll let those guys go. So while that's going, I'll show you what I've done. I wanted to show more of this, like I said, on camera, but there's so many steps. I decided not to bore you to death with this, and went ahead and kind of finished up the basics on my own. And I'm glad I did, because like I said, so much has changed from AE1 to AE2 that I was messing up. I was messing up right and left. For example, I could be mistaken, but I believe you could just plug like an EU energy source in it before, or maybe it was an MJ, I don't remember, but it was pretty basic energy source, just directly connected into your AE system, and away you went. Right now, my preferred energy source right now is RF. As you can see over here, I've got lots and lots of RF processing going on over here, and it's feeding into everything. And I plugged an RF source directly into the back of the chest, and it did work. But the problem, though, is that you're supposed to be able to put other AE component pieces in line with it, and they should auto-power. So similar to the way it worked in AE1. But when I put down the drive next to it, it wouldn't power up. So just to test things, I went into creative, or just went into cheat mode for NEI, grabbed myself a couple of drives and plugged them in here to try to figure out what was going on. And like I said, it wouldn't power up. So then I thought, okay, fine, maybe I need to directly connect power into the back of the drive, and it still really didn't make a difference. The terminal just wasn't working and stuff. Well, as it turns out, there's another block in AE2 now that you need to use, and it's right here. Why did I do that? It's right here. It's the energy acceptor. So basically, the energy acceptor will pretty much take any type of energy into it, and then you can then feed from there into your AE system, and it works fine. So all I did was run my, as you saw here, I ran my my RF cabling right to the acceptor, energy acceptor, and now I have the AE cables coming out of the acceptor, going over into here, the accelerator over here, and into the back of the drives here. So it's all working fine now. So if you haven't played with AE2 and you're wondering about the power source, just kind of remember that you need that energy acceptor block here. You need to craft that guy, and then feed it into your AE system, and then you'll be fine. So everything's good here. All we need to do now is to put some drives in here. I crafted one using that process I just described to you a moment ago. I only did one because it's so time consuming, so many steps. And so obviously I'm going to have to create a bunch more. And you can see it's green, so it's lit up. This is now activated, so we can now put stuff in here. So we're good to go now. I can store up to 63 different item types in here, up to 4K bytes. And so we're good to go. This is our basic system. It's just a terminal and a drive and then chest with our power system going into it. And then of course I ran some cabling over to our accelerators, and you can see down there, there's our finished product, which is our crystals. Pick them up, and you'll see now we have 2 pure Certus crystals. And those guys, like I was explaining a moment ago, are ultra critical to crafting our storage system, our storage drives. So let's take a look at those real quick. Like I said, I did the 4K guy. To get to this guy, you'll need your pure Certus quartz. So, and again, you need the seeds. It's the only way to get them. And then you can craft your printed calculation circuits that you're going to need for our calculation processor, which you need for this guy. I'm not sure if that's true of the 16K. Is that true of the 16K? Yep, there's your engineering processor, so it's the same thing. No, that's not the same thing. What am I thinking? That's requiring a diamond. Oh, but these guys, these are the 4K guys. Yep, so you need them for the 4K guys. So it's sort of a step up. You're crafting your 4K component piece here, and to go to 16, you need 3 of those guys. So I think I crafted an extra. Yeah, I have. Well, that's the 1K. I need the 4Ks. So yeah, it's a ton of work. It's a ton of work. Put these guys up here. So here, here's the third one that I couldn't remember before, was the nether quartz. So you can create nether quartz seeds, Certus quartz seeds, and Fluix crystal seeds. Those are the 3 types of seeds that you can craft. So if you use your sag mill or macerator or whatever to create dusts out of these 3 guys, it doesn't have to be the pure versions. It can just be Certus quartz and nether quartz. But if you get those quartz and the Fluix crystal and crush those down to dusts, mix it with sand, you can get your seeds. And then through that process that I just showed you up above, using the accelerators, you can grow those guys. And I believe these pure guys will work like regular Certus quartz. So wherever you can use Certus quartz, I think the pure Certus quartz will work as well, but not vice versa. Certus quartz cannot be replaced for pure Certus quartz. I could be mistaken. I'm pretty sure you cannot replace regular Certus quartz with pure, but I believe you can with pure. I think that's true. If I'm mistaken, let me know in the comment section below. So yeah, so that's sort of what I've been working on all morning. I swear it's been probably 3 or 4 hours going through all those steps. Because as you can see, it's just how deep do you go? I mean, you can really go deep with this stuff. There. You know, I mean, 3 to 4 steps just to get one item. And then again, 3 to 4 steps for the next item. And there's 4 of them. And then the 5th step is this one to put it all together to get the storage component. And oh my goodness, it's just a lot of work. It's just a lot of work. Um, so I just want to let you know that's what I've been working on. So we're doing great. We've got a good start on our ME storage system. I'll probably want to move the inscriber and the charger, since those are component pieces of our AE system. I'll probably want to move those up there as well, and kind of put the bulk of our crafting environment up there now. I'll probably leave most of this stuff down here for right now. But that way we can kind of have our power available in this room, because this is our energy warehouse, right? And then also have this guy going. So anyway, so yeah, so we've got our power system, and basically, obviously, we're going to need lots of power to feed into our storage system, our ME storage system. So it's probably a good idea to have them kind of side by side. And I thought this was a good little corner back here to place the ability to do growing our seeds. And I might want to expand this out and have multiples of these out here. I'm not completely sure. I should also mention though, there's another item of the AE mod called the network tool, and I've not crafted that guy yet. Before, I don't remember. It could be. I don't know if it was the interface or the terminal, but basically it would show you how much power was being consumed by the system. But with AE2 now, you need this thing called a network tool to show you how much, what's on your system and how much power is being consumed. And I should mention that with these guys going, it sucks up a lot of power. So you're going to want to disconnect your cabling from this area when it's not in use. Otherwise, you're just wasting a lot of power. And there is a better way to do that. I don't remember what it's called. I think it was called a bus block or something like that. But there's another block you can place in here that will allow you to turn it off and on without actually having to break the cabling. But I haven't got that crafted either. So that will come next episode, I suppose. I just felt like I spent a whole lot of time on it, probably enough for one day, and really wanted to get an episode out today to wish everybody a Happy New Year, and to also show you, the finished product of our railway station, and at least kind of go over our AE system and where I've placed it. I think this is a good spot. I kind of looked around real quickly to kind of see if it was. This might not be a bad area either up here. Yeah, I'm just kind of fudging on this. I'm just really not quite sure where's a good spot for the ME system. So I have it right here for right now, since it was really close to our RF power. But yeah, let me know what you think. Is there a better spot for this? What do you think would be a good spot for this? Yeah, I'm just not quite sure. Obviously, this will work for now, but yeah, let me know what you think. So, because I want to bring the other two AE tools up here. I suppose I could put them right there, but then we're going to start running out of room for all of our machinery and stuff. I suppose we can go upward. No problem with that. I could probably move this wall out back there, and we could put stuff in here. Yeah, so yeah, let me know what you think. I'll give it some more thought. There's got to be a better way, perhaps. But anyway, this will work for now. Yeah, what else? What else is there to go over? I think that's probably about it for right now. Still haven't replaced these nooks In fact, when I finished up the railway station over here, I pretty much just put nooks around them since we had some spares. You can see them in the corners. I probably need to go and replace these though with the invisible light sources. I think that's going to be ideally a little better. These are fine for the corners like this. They're inobtrusive, not a problem. But when they're out in the open like this, they do look a little weird. So probably would be a good idea to replace these open ones with our invisible light source, since we discovered that new mod recently, and I find it pretty awesome. So yeah, so I need to do that too. And then also, yeah, we've got all of our oil up there. You can see it up there, and we've never really finished processing the oil as a fuel source. And so we probably should do that here pretty soon as well. So maybe the next episode or the next one after that, we'll see. Why don't we go up there? You go. So we got a lot of oil in here, right? We got, what, 3 million? A little over 3 million. And that's why I put this compact machine over here, because I wanted to kind of pump oil into the compact machine and have all the oil processing occur inside there, and then have the fuel come out and store that in another iron tank. So yeah, there's so many different ways to do this. I could put an iron tank inside that block and have the fuel just go in there and store in there and process, and then come out and store the fuel out here, because we really don't necessarily need this intermediate oil, right? All we're really interested in is the fuel. I can't think of another purpose for oil. If I'm missing something, let me know. You know, is there other purposes for oil other than creating fuel? Yeah, if so, let me know. So there's some thought. We need to give some thought to that too, right? So there's many different ways to utilize this, but I love the idea of using the compact machine, because then we can do a lot of that work and processing in a very small amount of space, and then just store the final product here. Or somewhere. Like I said, I'm not sure where to put it. Obviously, I'd have to empty this out before I could put fuel in it anyway, so we'll probably need another iron tank no matter what. Oh well, there's so much to do, right? But what order to do it in? Okay. Why am I? Oh, I'm not spending it. Okay. Okay, so yeah, that's probably enough for this episode. Sorry, a lot of talking, just kind of stepping through the process I went through to get us where we're at now with our MA system. And so yeah, so if you're new to the Applied Energistics mod, this is a pretty quick crash course on it. Direwolf's done a much better job with his spotlight. He's got a 3-part spotlight that goes over this mod really well. It's excellent. I would recommend that you check it out if you've not done so. But hopefully this crash course has piqued your interest in the mod, because it's pretty awesome, and we'll definitely be doing a lot more with it in the very near future. So yeah, thanks again for joining me, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please give it a like, and if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. It's free, and you'll get notifications for when the next episodes come out. And yeah, I had a lot of questions in this episode, so if you have any thoughts or ideas or anything you'd like to share with me, I would appreciate that. Leave those in the comment section below. I respond to all those as quickly as possible, and I really appreciate everybody's feedback. So yeah, thanks again for joining me. Happy New Year, everybody, and I'll see you in the next episode, which will be in the next New Year. Bye-bye, everybody.